rich kids with nothing but loose ends. Super rich kids with nothing but fake friends.
How do you not make the teachers creepy that they're stalking minors?
I mean, did you find them creepy or did you find them struggling with a moral issue, or both?
I think both. I think when we saw him taking the photo of them through the window, when after the rain, I was like,
But then he talks about that.
Right.
I think that's what I like about it. Like, if you go back to the original and you actually watch it thinking about Dan as Gossip Girl, it's actually more of a horror show than Penn playing Joe on You, because here is this guy putting a post in about his sister that's going to destroy her life while she's sitting next to him eating her pancakes, and he's got to watch it come out and land on her and destroy her life, and he's the one who did it. Just because they're teachers going after minors doesn't erase the fact that, like, was it any better that he was destroying his own sister, his own girlfriend? Like, so I actually feel like this time around you're actually complicit in that, and that to me is what elevates this version from the original, which is there now when you watch the original, but it's only in the back of your mind. Here you have to actually confront it. You have to confront, what does it mean to play God? Who has the right to? Why do we do it? Why do we think we can? And also, I think the fun of it is at least Kate is 24 and she's only 7 years older than Max, and that's interesting as well. Is to, like, she is actually his generation.
There is something interesting in that the original show, there was like the parents and there was the kids, and it was like Gen X and then these millennials, and it was a good 25-year gap where these tensions could exist between these two generations. And now, as we've seen between like millennials and Gen Z, it's like a 10-year gap, and yet it feels like it's a lifetime and a chasm, and that these two groups who are not that far apart in age just do not understand each other at all. So being able to explore that as part of the storytelling has been really fun.
This just in, there's a big secret amongst the ruling class at Constance Billard.
How important is it to have intimacy coaches on the set of this Gossip Girl? And could you believe that movies and TV shows in the past that were doing scenes like this didn't have intimacy coaches?
I can't imagine not having one. It's just important to sit down, and before you put your face on someone else's, say, hey, what are you okay with? If you're going to touch someone's body, first you need to ask them if it's okay and what's okay. And probably the reason why people got into so many problems in the past in film and TV was because there were no intimacy coaches. I can't imagine not having one. I think it's greatly important.
And it makes all the difference. Claire is so amazing. It makes you feel so comfortable. And I think ultimately that's what it's all for in the first place, is just feeling comfortable going into a scene. If it's intimacy or it's just a monologue or it's a long scene and you're nervous about having Claire there, it like ensures your confidence. So it's makes all the difference, honestly.
Claire is there to like facilitate and like make sure that we do feel comfortable. But like Josh and everyone on set is incredibly supportive, and it's definitely all about what we feel comfortable with for like a nice, comfortable working environment. So yeah, it's been fun.
I think that like the fact that it hasn't existed before is absolutely like enthralling me. Like it's such a vulnerable place to be put in, and like the idea of not having someone there to protect your rights is really nerve-wracking. So I'm really glad.
It's one of those positions where you look back and think, how did we even think we could do this before without this person? Coordinator is with us from reading the script to, shooting the scenes, talking to the actors. Hugely, hugely important. It's like doing stunts without a stunt coordinator.
I promised I would stay away from any drama.
Zion, did you sit down with the producers and or writers and sort of go over sort of how sex was being approached? It's a very sex positive show.
Personally, I haven't had any such scenes yet.
Right.
But yeah, I think that we've all had discussions as a group of how to deal with it in a respectful and humanizing way. Since it's such a sex positive show and, we're currently in the Me Too era, I think that, it was really important to have clear discussions and clear consent about what was going to transpire on camera. And I think that the producers and the directors all respect that and understand our boundaries as well.
Should parents be nervous about watching this, especially parents of teenagers who are in high school going, oh God, oh God, is this what's really happening in high school?
Everyone's so exposed now with like social media, and so I think that it's done very kind of tastefully, and there's nothing really outlandish about it, which I think was really nice, to not kind of fantasize it so much, but to definitely inject emotion into it and to make it something like real and something genuine, as opposed to doing it for the sake of doing it.
I think that Gossip Girl is a total fantasy land. And I think that anything that's kind of done in the show, and like you're saying, it's a little different from the original. I'd say it's a little like more raw, but at the same time, when I watch these characters, what I want to see is I want to sit down for an hour and just binge this shit and like feel good about the fact that I don't have to think about real life for an hour, and I can watch bratty kids, like, you know what I mean? Like just run around and do whatever they fucking want. It's nice. It's an escape. We need that after a fucking year of, you know, quarantine and just like the outside world affecting us, bringing us and stressing us out. It's sometimes nice to escape.
I don't think they should be worried, because if they're worried, then they're not paying attention. I mean, I feel like, you know, there's been a lot of articles about how like a lot of Gen Z and millennials aren't having sex the way that other generations did. And it's because of the access to porn, which was not available even 12 years ago when the original Gossip Girl started. So I feel like as a teenager now, you can actually see porn very easily in a way that when I was a teenager, you could not. And I feel like that informs your thoughts about sex and sometimes your thoughts about sexuality as well. So I feel like, I don't know if parents should be scared, because I think weirdly, we are pretty responsible about what we discuss in this. Like one of the things that Josh and Stephanie and I talked about early on was that while being on HBO Max means that we have less restrictions, we never wanted to tell a gratuitous sex story to tell it. So like if Audrey is going to do something to her boyfriend Aki in an episode, it's actually going to potentially expose her as having cheated on him. It's not just a gratuitous sex act.
It's so tough with like, I guess, teen shows, right? Because you want to portray it authentically, but you also don't want to be like a quote unquote bad influence. But it's like realistically, like they're doing it. I would say maybe have some conversations with your kids and be open with them and be like, yeah, these are things that exist. These are things that you might be interested in. Maybe don't let a TV show raise your kid.
You know, we had the same conversations about the first one. And what I said at the time was watch the show with your kids and have those conversations, because your kids probably aren't doing that, but someone's kids are. And those are things that you should be talking about at home.
Maids come around too much.
XOXO.
Parents ain't around enough.
Gossip Girl.
Real